Don't look in that room because our victims are in that room.
Let's talk about here. Do you want to see? Should I put on the screen? Should I show the rest of the Vice crew to the people at home? So that's the rest of the.
This is easily the biggest W for Andrew Tate since getting arrested. So a woman that has been listed as a victim for the prosecution against Andrew Tate has spoken out on television and defended him, saying the case is built on lies.
Hi, I will also like to say a thing. I think it's pretty embarrassing that 9 months after the first raid in April last year, we gave our statement in which clearly we said we weren't the victims. It wasn't until a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah, a couple of days ago that we found out about the whole situation. So I'm pretty annoyed and upset, and I don't understand why this is happening.
Okay, just a second, because I have to speak in my language for all the people. Please tell me about your connection between Beatrice and between Tate brothers.
Between Beatrice and the Tate brothers? Well, me and Beatrice have been living together now for around 2 years, and I got to meet Beatrice, Andrew, and Tristan through some other friends of mine. We have had common friends, and we met, and till the end, we ended up being like family. So
are you working for Tristan Tate and
no,
Andrew Tate?
I've never worked for them or with them. We're just very, very close, and we have... I am working on TikTok and Instagram. I'm working as an influencer. So, yeah.
Okay, I understand. So your opinion and also the Beatrice's opinion is that the brother states are very honest and they don't do...
I honestly think that justice should be made, because this is very unfair. They don't deserve it. Those are just made-up stories that go around the internet. If you don't have... I don't understand. We've been... The prosecutors said we're victims in this case, when we obviously declared we are not the victims. And that happened in April of last year, right? So this case is basically built on lies, in my opinion. How can I trust the Romanian authorities? How can I trust their words in Romania now that I live here, right? I chose to live here, and I've been wanting to live here.
Andrew Tate retweeted, "Alleged victims speak, confirmed by Andrew Tate's team." Shocking. 2 of the 6 women who are the alleged victim of Tate's have come out on TV and said the allegations are false and the Tates are like family. More evidence is coming on this, guy, so leave a like and subscribe with the notification bell. I'm just surprised this hasn't been thrown out of court when already 2 victims or supposed victims are defending him. Let's see what the other 4 are gonna say. I'll keep you guys posted with daily updates.
I'm just hitting him. I'm just knocking everyone. I cannot become depressed because I don't believe in it.
Many young people, especially boys, have literally stopped me on the street since that first interview to ask me about Andrew Tate. I've been staggered, honestly.
You have no plan. You have no plan whatsoever. Men who do not control their emotions are dangerous. So the days of easy money are gone. I want to, like, even in the last 2 or 3 years, it was easy money mode.
Who gets to decide where the line is, and whether people like Andrew Tate cross it?
Is that guy unapologetically troll-like?
I'm from a council estate in Luton. I'm now a billionaire.
I think that a lot of people don't understand that it's all of the challenges and struggles that's going to make them, it's either going to make or break them. I don't read studies very often, but I was sent a study about stress from somebody. It's probably the best study I ever read. And it's talked about the placebo effect of stress. And it said that they took some of the most stressed people in the world, CEOs, etc. And the ones who believed that stress was really bad for them were dying earlier because of the cortisol inside of their blood. And they said stress was really bad for them, they were having heart attacks. But the ones who believed that stress was good for them and it made them perform, I perform under pressure, stress is good for me, they were living longer. So the same drug inside of their blood, how they framed it inside of their mind had different effects on their body. So from that point onwards, even though I already thought this way, I knew I was the right way. I knew it was the right way to think innately because I've done pretty good in life that way. But this confirmed it. Every time I feel stressed or under pressure, I get excited. I hate to not be stressed. I wake up and I'm like, everything's fucked. Good. Yes. Like that's just how I am, right? But it's how you adopt. It's how you look at the problems and how you use them to fuel you. So the question was, what's the problem for the average man today? What's the biggest problem? I think there's a whole host of problems. But what you have to do is frame it inside of your mind and understand that all of those problems are going to allow you, give you the fuel, the unlimited motivation that you need to become a successful and beautiful individual if you frame it in the right way. If you take a man and give him a life shielded from problems and he never has any to face, I guarantee you he's terrible at being a man. The best men in the world have gone through shit. That's why women love scars, because it didn't kill you. That's the whole point of it, right? So the best thing you can do as a man is look and go, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I feel negative because these are all so difficult. I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. Let me internalize all of that and turn it into a superpower. Let me become genuinely uncomfortable with my situation in life and go and fix things. Because like I said, the universe is absolutely and utterly very giving. And if you truly hated being in the position you were in, you wouldn't be there very long.
No, I do not believe in clinical depression, and you're never going to. I'd love for you to try and convince me it's real. It'd be quite interesting.
Do you think it's an invention of the US pharmaceutical industry to sell you pills?
Well, I think that's certainly part of it. I think that's part of it.
Part of it.
I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, and my basic premise is that I refuse to believe in things that take power away from me. If you are in a haunted house and you believe in ghosts, you're scared of the haunted house. If you're in a haunted house and you don't believe in ghosts, you're just in a house and you don't care. So I don't like the idea when someone explains to me the idea of one day waking up and being miserable and not wanting to live anymore, and it's nothing to do with my circumstances and I have no power over it, and no matter how good my life is, I'm still going to feel terrible and I'm going to want to die. That's not an idea I subscribe to. That's not a reality I'm ever going to want.
But that's a reactive depression, isn't it? You can be reactive depressed for the day, for example, or for a while.
Or even chronically, yeah.
Feeling depressed is real.
Yeah.
Depression as a disease, I do not subscribe to. The idea, I believe, that if you feel depressed, something is depressing you, and you should try your best to fix it. You should take control of your life and do your best to fix it. The idea, but they don't say that. They don't talk that. They say depression like it's this magic thing that comes out the sky and it gets in your brain. You're sad no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you need to only take pills. And I think that's a very bad way to look at the world, and that's a bad idea to subscribe to. And if you start to feel depressed, let's say your girl leaves you and you start to feel depressed, but you believe in the idea of depression, you're now going to start diagnosing yourself as clinically depressed, self-hypnosing yourself into hypnotizing yourself into being clinically depressed. And it's amazing how you can speak things into existence. I cannot become depressed because I don't believe in it.
So how about chemical imbalances in the brain?
Bullshit. That's all been disproved anyway.
Really?
It's all been disproved. Firstly, that's all been disproved. And secondly, even if that was true, even if I had a chemical imbalance in my brain, I do not believe in depression. That's just who I am as a person. I don't believe in it. I do not believe in things that take power away from me. So, and people sit there and they try very hard to convince me it's real, which is actually quite interesting because it's always usually depressed people who sit there and try very hard to defend this idea. Yeah. If you're so scared, if depression's so terrible, why are you sticking up for it? Why are you fighting so hard to convince me it's such a powerful force? Why shouldn't you be doing the opposite? Shouldn't you be listening to me? Whose team are you on? Like, do you want to be depressed? Like, it's insanity. These people who are so desperate to push this idea. Then you add in the pharmaceutical element, and the fact that everyone's taking these fucking drugs, messing with their brain chemistry. It's garbage. I think that you feel depressed sometimes because you're human.
So you felt depressed at times, would you say?
We're all human.
Yeah, because I felt depressed. I mean, I had some major, it might not sound big, but some major dental surgery done, and it really got me down for a while. But my businesses and running those, to be honest, picked me up because it was like, I can't be like this. Get in there, do some business.
Well, completely. And also, let's look at it. Let's pretend I'm completely wrong.
Red
right?
or blue?
We can look at situational depression, like you just described.
Take the red pill today,
brain
guys.
Imbalance and chemical imbalance. We can talk about clinical depression that you get, it's chronic, and nothing you do about it. Whatever. Let's pretend all these things are completely true. The best option, the best thing to do is still to get up, be an adult, control your emotions, be stoic, and do the things you're supposed to do day after day. Laying in bed and doing nothing is never going to be the best option. The best option is still to go to the gym, to work hard, to run your business, to be successful. So it doesn't matter. We're talking about the different positions on the chessboard. But if the rules of the game remain the same, regardless of the position you're still trying to win, you still have to do the same things. So does it even matter at this point? If you come along and say he's depressed because of X and he's depressed because of Y and he's depressed because of Z, and the answer to all of them is still the same thing, then I don't give a fuck why you're depressed. All I know, what I will say as a matter of fact, is this world is hyper competitive, especially as a man. Most men are walking through life and they don't realize that it's constant competition. I was driving here, even as I was driving here, I was looking out the window, and all these people just walking around. One of them had a fucking croissant. One of them was dressed like a dickhead because it's London. He thinks he's fucking awesome. He's just a fucking moron.
We've all seen them.
Yeah, moron. Some of the dudes just talking shit on the phone. Some other guy with headphones in, waiting to be fucking murdered, waiting to hear it coming. And all these NPCs are going, do they realize they're in endless, constant competition? Every single pound they want, someone else wants. Every single girl they want, someone else wants. There are people like me out here. I will destroy. You could get all 30 of them in a room, and I will sit by myself and absolutely annihilate them in any single metric. And they're just sitting there, just fucking floundering and wandering through life, unaware of how competitive the world is.
Well, and whinging how unfair
And
it is.
whinging and how unfair it is. And this is my point. If the world is truly that competitive, you do not have time to be depressed because it's a non-competitive mind state. You can be depressed for X, Y, Z, whatever. I'm not depressed. And I want the money you want, and I want the girl you want, and I want the status you want, and the car you want, and the house you want. And I'm going to get it, and you're fucking not. And that's the bottom line of life.
If you gave that guy that stuff, he probably wouldn't be depressed.
Well, he needs to get up off his ass and work then, doesn't he? And this is the point.
He probably would, because he wouldn't have a direction in life. I think it's a very empowering message that you share. And you know, I think if you can fix it with pills, you can probably fix it by going to the gym and doing all of these other aspects.
But pills doesn't even fix it. Pills just numbs it.
Masks.
Yeah.
Masks it.
Well, it's not a holistic way to treat it, is it? Whereas what you're saying is more so.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you're playing a game, and it's a competitive game, and you need to build a mindset that allows you to be ultra competitive. And if you want to sit there and say, no, I want a non-competitive mindset, then fine. You know what you call people who do not win competitions?
Losers.
Correct.
I want a
I do
non-competitive.
not like to hang around with men who suffer from a lack of women. Because in my experience, any man who can't get women will
Suffer.
eventually sell you out for women. It's too
Suffer's
powerful
wild.
for us. Too
I
powerful
wouldn't
for
say
us.
I'd
If
suffer.
you're completely sex deprived all
I would
the time,
just say I would
sooner or later
keep
you're going to sell you out for sex. Whether it's
myself
sex,
for
or some girl
somebody.
talking bad about your boy, but you really want pussy, so you let her slide. If you're not good with girls, I don't want to talk to you. Second thing is money. You might not be rich, but if you're starving, you're gonna try and sneak some money out of somebody, right? If you can't eat, you'll do anything for food. You can't pay the bills, you do anything for money. That means whether it's a plea bargain, whether it's trying to rob me, whether it's money sitting around my house. I don't want to talk to extremely broke people. I don't want to talk to extremely sex deprived people for the same reason I don't have a whole bunch of food around a hungry person. Same reason. It's the first two things. Next thing is loyalty, and I know that's super hard to judge, but I really like to believe that the people I hang around with, if we were all in separate police interviews and they were to come and say, hey, your boy turned, I can literally burst out laughing. Say, bro, you better come with a new story, G. You better go away and think about it and come back. We can talk, but don't try that one. So loyalty is very, very important. Next is bravery, because can't fight is fine.
Won't fight.
Won't fight is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
If I'm with my 5 friends and I'm going toilet in the club and I come back and I see someone punch one of my friends, I am annihilating anybody in that guy's crew. We'll find out why later. My guy could have been
Shit,
wrong.
we'll get our ass beat together, bro.
It could have been my guy's fault. I'm just hitting him. I'm just knocking everyone. When everyone's asleep and the threat is neutralized, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is that? But, oh, I started it. It's like, oh, fuck it. First, people have to pay, right? We'll worry about the whys afterwards. So they have to have that loyalty and that devotion to the bravery, the ability to fight. I find it very crazy. I find it crazy, and I say this often to guys. So you're rolling around with these men who won't even fight to protect you because they're cowards. So they'll watch you get your head stomped to death and cower out and not even try and help you. And they're like, yeah, but he's funny. But he's funny? We're talking about life and death. You're talking about fucking funny? And so if I can smell on someone that they wouldn't even attempt, I don't want to be anywhere near the same reason. And general professionalism. I've developed a habit where I punish myself for the smallest unprofessional actions. If I misplace my keys or misplace my phone, and it takes me more than 10 minutes to find it, I'll punish myself for it. Regardless, whether it's I don't spend money this week, or I don't go here, or I'm canceling that, or I'm going to defer buying something I want. But I punish myself religiously so that next time I put my phone down, I know where I put my phone. Next time I put it down, I know where I put it all the time. When I put it down, I know where my phone is. So when I'm around people like, hey, I lost my keys, or hey, bro, I forgot. When I'm around sloppy people, I don't like it. I like people who have their lives in order. When I detect sloppiness, I don't really want them too close to me. Because gaps are where things sneak in. Other things are basic OPSEC, really basic OPSEC. I like that if I'm around my friends,
he's not wrong.
If I'm sitting with my back to a room, this is an enclosed environment. But in a normal restaurant, I never sit with my back to the room. If I have to do it, I like that I never do it. But if I have to do it, the people I roll with, they'll literally give me a nod. We'll sit down at dinner and I have to sit here, they'll go. And they'll pay extra attention for me because I can't see behind me. I like that level of professionalism. I like that. I like people, like I said, don't get weak, no hangovers, no crying their eyes out, no cowardice. It's infectious. Don't like that around. No negativity. Don't like that around. So there's certain things that I create a very, very particular reality. And it's actually interesting because to me, these things are all normal. But when you have these kind of standards, it's pretty hard to find friends. You're like, oh, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
You're a pussy. And you don't talk to that many people. But if you get a crew together that act that way, it's amazing how, not to get all airy-fairy, but it's almost intangible. When you have 6 men in one place who are perspicacious, who are paying attention, who do have their things right, who don't lose things, who do the whole room can smell. When me and my crew walk in a room, even if it's almost like an energy. Some guy can be eating his dinner and not even see us walk in and go, 6 predators. It's like the rabbit when the fox comes. Like you can smell when the guys turn on. You know what I mean? And everyone's experienced it, everyone's seen it. So anyone I associate with, I have these very, very stringent metrics. And they're basically just to make sure that nobody gets inspired by something they can't resist to snake us. And also nobody's overly sloppy and allows a way for us to be infiltrated and destroyed. I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and be indefatigable enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve those things.
Dame Sheila Hancock has become too emotional as a society, crying too much about everything.
Yeah.
She got a point?
She's completely right. And the dangerous thing about overly emotional men is that they're dangerous. They're genuinely dangerous. This is what's crazy. All these people who talk about toxic masculinity and how bad it is for men to be traditionally masculine. A traditionally masculine man does things he doesn't feel like doing because it is his duty to do them. He charges into the building because it is his duty. Not because he feels like it, because it is his duty. We're now teaching the new generation that they don't have duty and they can just act on their feelings and act how they feel and they don't have to act as a man should. Do you know what happens when you get men who just act how they feel? You get school shooters, you get violence, you get rapists. Men who do not control their emotions are dangerous. If you find a man who is stoic, he's not going to hurt people. He's going to sit and think about his actions very carefully, and he's going to be a good man who protects and provides for his family. You find a man who just acts out on impulse and does whatever he feels like, you're a dangerous man. Sitting here telling them to cry more and act with their feelings, and it's okay to feel this way.
Oh man, I missed. I'm mopping the floor right now. I'm about to hop in the shower.
Completely inversed on its head. We need to be teaching stoicism. We need to be teaching young men to understand that the world is very, very difficult. It's hard to be a man. You're going to feel bad sometimes. You need to suck it up and perform anyway. Not just sit there, you're crying your eyes out and blame other people.
That's right.
A lot of the problem with people, especially in the world today, is they misunderstand the difference between a dream and a plan. And nothing good in your life is ever going to happen by accident. If you see a guy in fantastic shape, you don't say, how'd you get in great shape? And he goes,
it just happened.
I just fell. And no, he ate a specific way. He trained a specific time. He did specific things for a specific outcome. It's the same with finances. And most people who are broke, you say, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How you get rich? One day,
I'll win the lottery.
Yeah, dumb shit. You have no plan. You have no plan whatsoever, no actionable steps. No, you're not doing things daily. You're just hoping some point in the future God's gonna just dump it on your doorstep. Guess what? It ain't gonna fucking happen. And unless you have a plan, a specific plan, I'm sure you guys had you had a plan and you worked hard to get to your plan. You had a plan. Everything was like, okay, today we have to do day after day after day until you get there. And this is what most people don't have because they're too arrogant or too lazy. I don't think it's stupid. I think most people, if you laid out a plan and they tried their very best and they were willing to work, could do it. I don't think people are too stupid to make money. They're just too lazy or too arrogant to make money. That's the problem with people. Okay, so the days of easy money are gone. I want to, like, even in the last 2 or 3 years, it was easy money mode. Every idiot you knew was making money.
So I'm about to hop in the
Every
shower.
clown had made money on a pump. A number of people who thought they were expert crypto traders in the last 3 years. It's so funny. I'm a great crypto trader. Everything went up. It all went up. What do you mean you're a great trader? You could have bought anything. You bought Poo Dick coin and made money. Of course you're a trader. Like that, all that shit's over, right? So all the easy money's gone. It's all cyclical. So all the amateurs are going to start suffering because now we're entering the realm of the professional. And making money is going to be harder than it's ever been. Yeah. All the free money's disappearing. You have to become very, very confident and competent. And that's one of the things about the last few years. Anyone who made money in those years, a lot of them didn't learn any lessons. A lot of them didn't learn how to make money. They just got lucky and just picked up a pump or caught some garbage. But they didn't actually learn anything specifically. The best way to make money in the world today certainly has to be something online. I think that making money online gives you absolute freedom of your own geography. It gives you access to the largest possible customer base. But it's interesting. It's an attention economy. And truthfully, without saying too much, you either need to be prepared to get a whole bunch of attention on you like we're all doing here, or you need to be close to somebody who's doing that. And that's where a lot of the money is flowing nowadays. Now, I don't believe there's a person on the planet who pays attention, tries their best, is never lazy, is on time, works hard, has a mentor, and is giving it his all, who isn't rich. I don't believe it. I think that if you do all those things, you're rich. And if you don't have any money, you're missing one of those key elements. Now, you can fool yourself and you can fool everyone else and you can pretend you're doing them, but if you're truly honest with yourself, am I finding people who are trying to teach me what I want to know, and am I trying my best? Invest in yourself, get knowledge, pay attention to mentors, start another business, open something. You need to do something because you're not going to save your way to the top. If you need to save 100% of your wage, you're still going to be broke. You have to get to a level of earning. And it's that spirit you need to have when it comes to money. And when you get up to the top, you realize there's money everywhere. The abundance mindset, there are so many rich people. So if you're not where you want to be financially, I hope this pisses you off because I'm telling you to annoy you. That you're sitting there struggling to pay your bills. There are people out there making so much money you couldn't possibly fathom who have anything they want all of the time. And you may sit there and go, oh, but they're miserable. A lot of them aren't. Trust me, they're having a great time. So you need to make a bunch more money because there's money everywhere.
The truth is, if you want to control a society, you need to control the men, because it's men which riot and cause revolutions. It's men which can fight. It's men which can really make serious change. I mean, women can scream and complain, but they can be largely ignored. But when men start to riot, you have problems. So how do you avoid that? Well, you make sure the men don't have enough will or enough gumption to put up to resist the absolute shit show they're being forced to put up with. Because the truth is, life for 99% of men in the Western world is awful. And most of them know it, and most of them feel it. And still, they will continue to pay their taxes and go to their job and sit inside of their sexless marriage because they've lost their will to resist. And this is done very specifically. This is done on purpose. It's not an accident. Because otherwise people would stand up and say, wait. What? The price of everything's doubled in the last 10 years. My wages are the same. What's going on? But no one does. So it's a very conscious effort to damage the psyche and the fighting spirit of masculine men. Absolutely. Truly believe we live in a matriarchal society in the West. Now, I no longer live in the West. I live in Romania, the far end of the European Union. It's like a strange place to kind of live, but I really like it here. But when I go back to the West, I realize just how matriarchal the society is. There's a lot of people on Twitter, I'm quite big on Twitter, and there's guys in the red pill space and the right-wing space who always talk about patriarchy and how they're going to establish a patriarchal household and all this stuff. And I try and explain, the laws in Western countries prevent you from ever being a patriarch. If your woman at any point decides to lie and say you hit her, or to say you raped her, or a girl you're sleeping with, oh, he raped me. I had sex with him consensually 9 times, but the 10th time I was drunk and it was rape. Right. And the law, they will come and arrest you. Yeah. How can you be a patriarch in a matriarchal society where females have the entire power of the law to destroy you at will? You can't. So the truth is, the reason most men act the way they do is because they know that if push comes to shove, the entire force of the legal system will always side with the female. So why does the man come home after working a long 10, 11 hours in the coal mine, ask for a cup of coffee, his woman tell him to fuck off, continue to have no sex for 3-4 years, his kids don't respect him, he's semi-depressed, nearly suicidal, but he doesn't get a divorce? Well, we know why. Because what's the option? You're going to lose the house, you're going to lose the kids, you're going to be stuck paying for her bills and allowing her to go on endless dates. You're out the game because it's extremely difficult to find a mate nowadays unless you're a top-tier male. So what choice do you have? It's a matriarchal society. Females have all the power in the West. So like any society, if you're the class which is attacked or the class which is ostracized, which men are, you're going to lose your fighting spirit. You're just going to think, well, the best way to survive is just to be nice to everybody. I'm just nice. Do. And that's what's happened, because there really is, unless you have that spark, unless you have what it takes to truly build a life which is unique and build a life which puts you beyond the controls of these enforcement mechanisms, then the safest way to live is to be a simp. It's not easy to be like me and run my mouth. I've lived the consequences of talking. I know what can happen, and I'm sure you've been there too with the shit on Twitter and blah blah. Most people can't put up with this. My biggest ever outrage is when, this was about 4 years ago, is when I was still verified on Twitter before I got banned. And I said depression wasn't real. And I know that's like a really controversial take. And my point was very simple. My point is that depression is a natural instinct inside of men. And it's something that is designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. If you go to jail and you're depressed, it's not because you've caught depression, it's because you're in jail. This is why. So if you feel depressed, you need to wake up and go, well, why am I depressed? And how can I change this? I had people message me saying, you don't understand how it feels. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I said, no, you're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Right. You got it the wrong way around. So when I said depression wasn't a clinical disease and it's simply the result of not living a life that you truly enjoy and you're not happy with, it blew up. It went huge. I had Hollywood stars. I had J.K. Rowling and the guy who plays the Incredible Hulk, and everyone was coming for me. And when this was like the most controversial I got, and everyone was trying to cancel me. And at the time, I was doing television commentary for the cage fighting here in Romania. And when I went into work to commentate, the owner of the organization called RXF, which is like the Romanian UFC, he had a stack of emails like this. Shit. Where people had Googled me, found my employment, and emailed him saying I'm a misogynist and I'm fucking encouraging suicide and all these crazy pages and pages. And he sat down there and goes, "What's this?" I was like, "Bro, in the West, this is what they do." And he was laughing out loud. He's Romanian, so he's reading emails, going, "These people have no life. What are these people?" I was like, he goes, "What do they want me to do?" I was like, "They're hoping you're gonna fire me." The whole boardroom was laughing, and they threw the emails away, and we carried on with life. Because we're not in a society which is held at ransom. I'm lucky to live in a society which is not held ransom by these people. Yeah. But in America, if I had a normal job, it would have been it. You know, it's absolutely crazy now. So, and what happens when you take away a man's speech? If a man's not free to talk, what's a man free to do? That's the first way you demasculinize a man. You tell him to shut up. I say this to people. I'm depressed. I was like, well, life's depressing. You're getting older. You're going to die. You know, there's a whole bunch of people with a bunch more money than you. Welcome to the fucking real world. Life's depressing. Are you a bitch? You're going to cry about it? Or you're going to do something about it? Like, life is depressing. Who told us Tell me where it says in the human handbook that we're supposed to be happy all of the time.
Right,
We're not supposed to be happy. We're supposed to survive. Now, if you're a man, you can survive even if you're miserable. I say this all the time. Give me depression. You wouldn't even notice. This is what pisses them off because they're like, oh, yeah, you wouldn't be able to function. I guarantee I can still drive my Lambo and fuck women. I guarantee you.
Right.
Try me. Because I refuse to be such a baby that I'm going to sit there and go, well, I feel a certain way, so I have to act a certain way. No. One of the number one tenets of masculinity, in fact, it's probably the primary tenet of masculinity, is acting different to how you feel. This 100%. Is the primary tenet of masculinity. Do you think the men on the Titanic felt like dying? No, but they acted a certain way because they were men. The women and the children are afraid and they're going to run. I'm afraid and I'm going to stay here because I'm a man. As a man, you have to control your emotions. So I don't give a shit if you're depressed. There's no excuse to not be an adult and make sensible decisions based on discipline alone. I'm too depressed to train. No, you lack discipline. Because I've felt miserable. Every single person has. I didn't miss a gym session ever. So I don't believe in that crap. I don't believe in it. And I don't believe in it because I know that the true cure to fixing people is to tell them, here's the example I gave when this whole thing blew up. I said, if I moved into a house and I heard squeaks in the night and I don't believe in ghosts, I'm going to attribute it to the wind and go back to sleep. If I move into the same house and hear the same squeaks, but I'm a big believer in ghosts, I'm going to start being scared. I'm going to call an exorcist. I'm going to say it's a ghost. So my point is, the same situation gets worse based primarily on my beliefs. If you don't believe in depression, you can't be depressed.
Right.
All you can be is, okay, I feel a bit pissed off. Time to get up and go get it. Let's hit the gym, bang, hit the club. I'm going to make some things happen in my life. But if you do believe in depression, the second you feel sad, the first thing you do is sit down and go, this isn't my fault I feel this way. I have a disease and nothing's going to make me better. And you're going to get worse. So this is the whole point. This is what was amazing when I said depression wasn't real. I said, if all you, because I was getting attacked by, all the Avatar Anon characters, I'm depressed, you don't understand, my friend killed himself, blah, blah, blah. I was like, listen, if depression is really so horrible, why are you all defending it so fervently? So it's real, it's so powerful, it's real. Why are you defending this horrible thing? Why don't you sit there and go, you know what, you're right, Andrew, fuck depression. But they want to defend it because it's an identity. It's something that allows them to feign individuality. It's something that allows them to, it's an excuse. It's a ready-made excuse for all of life's failures. I'm a loser, but it's not my fault. But depression. That's all it is. It's a fucking coping mechanism. I don't believe it. I do not believe in depression. I believe if you really feel terrible and someone were to come along and give you $10 million, you'd probably feel a bit better. Also, just to quickly touch on this, because every time I say this, people come at me and think they're smart. And they say, well, what about Robin Williams? He was famous. He killed himself, blah, blah, blah. And I say, yeah, and I'll tell you why he killed himself. He killed himself because of people like you who are telling him depression is real, not people like me.
Right.
When Robin Williams was in therapy for 10 years. If he would have walked into his first therapy session and his therapist said, look, Robin, you're a millionaire, you're famous, you can fuck any woman alive. You coming here is insulting to people with PTSD and genuine conditions, which I believe is different. If you've been through some real shit in a war, fine, you could be depressed. If you're just Joe Schmo and nothing's happened to you, you have no reason to be depressed. I'd say, look, Robin, you've got a fantastic life. You coming here is insulting to people with real issues. Grow up and get the fuck out my office.
Cool. And we will do that. Brody $5. What's up, fellas? Cheers to a great podcast and hit my email back.
Oh yeah, he wants to do an internship.
Okay, so we'll hit you back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. We've been getting spammed by emails and people hitting us up since we've been growing so much. Thank you so much for the growth.
Thanks,
We've just been so busy, man. Obviously, we got Tate in the house, so he's been the priority right now.
Priority always.
Showing him a good time has been priority.
Yeah.
Matasuki, $20. Best podcast in the world, over 9,000.
Thank you, brother.
My friends.
Thank you, man.
Tony Parker, $4.99. I'm looking forward to joining y'all's highest tier Patreon. I gotta put my glass on.
You join that higher tier, you can come in the studio. We got one of our boys here. I'll shout out to him in the studio as well, Kaiser. So yeah, man, $20 tier VIP. You can chill with us.
Blake Ocean, $5. Tate, greatest to ever do it. Welcome to America.
Well, thank you
this is his first time in Miami. I didn't know that.
It's my first time in Miami. I've never been to Miami before.
But
I'm feeling the Miami spirit. I've already got the Colombian drug lord shirt and the big cigar.
Shout out Scarface.
I got some money. I can feel it. I can get it.
There you go.
Lazino again, 23.99. Shout out to Tate from East London. Keep up the good work. And Tate, never seen Star Wars.
Never.
Keep your movie. Yeah,
Never
absolutely.
seen Star Wars.
Bro, I never seen it either.
Why would I watch that? You think I've got a life to live?
Oh man.
My dick works. You think I'm gonna be sitting there looking at what? In a galaxy, little teddy bears, some dude in a mat. This is lame, bro. This is lame. I would deal with Darth Vader. I'd show Darth Vader force he ain't ready for. Bust him up. He ain't ready for me.
Yo.
He ain't ready
King
for me.
Chris said, no, shout out to the podcast for Men and Lifestyle. Thanks for coming on, Tate. We're going 0 to 100K now fast. Speeding the catch is real. They better keep watching. Facts.
Thank you, King Chris.
And then Loner XZ, $5. Don DeMarco, please, and happy birthday, Clyde. Didn't forget B-Day 429. Can he get the DBT power-up? Still a ninja now, part of the Fresh Fit Village. Thank you so much for that. All right. And then I think Lonnie Strokes, $10. Love the channel, man. Y'all be having me laughing hard as fuck. And when y'all gonna have Steph Cold on the podcast, keep grinding. Hey, man, tell Steph to hit us up. He knows where we're at.
More. Yep.
And then Blake Ocean, $5. After this interview, you'll see that Tate is on another level and has proof for all of it. Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
Tate is the real deal, and he's here for a reason.
I do my best. You know, I'm a man. I try and live by receipts. I try and show what I'm doing.
No fire today. Haha, just love. Keep it go. Do it.
Thank you,
keep
Papa
it doing.
Chunks.
Thank you so much, Cali Papa Chunks. And Trey won't make fun of you and the Warriors anymore. Ken Festi, Porter, and guys, we're gonna have to read 15 and up from this point forward because we want to make sure that we don't interrupt. We got a lot to talk about with Andrew, guys. So thank you so much. Chris will continue to show the super chats.
But 50 and up.
But 50 and or 15.
50.
Okay, 50 and up, guys.
This is important.
This is going to be a big interview. What's good, Fresh and Fit? I just discovered you guys a couple weeks ago. I like the content you doing your thing because these women need to hear this stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. They do need to hear this. And then finally, Ben Francis, all the way from Canada. Shout out from Commie Canada. We appreciate you, Tate. So,
boom, bam.
Man, so
wait, before we start, sorry, I don't want to try and take control of the podcast.
No, you're the guest, bro.
You might attack me from both sides. I only got one hand each for the Aikido. Why am I the only one drinking?
Well,
where's your vodka?
You know what?
Here we go.
We drank on the boat for you. Now we're here in the studio for you.
Listen, let me tell you something. I drank the entire 24-hour flight.
You know what? Throw me a White Claw. This is a special occasion. Throw me a White Claw.
I drunk on the boat again.
You know what? I'll take a White Claw for Tate.
Yeah. Can you guys throw us a White Claw real quick? It's gonna be like Stone Cold Steve Austin type shit.
Second time you see me drink on air. First time was 100K, and now I'm gonna do it for Tate.
And there's a reason why we're considered the best hosts in the Manosphere. It's because we take care of all of our guests, even if it means us destroying our livers in the process.
We all go down together. And gentlemen, I guarantee you, my liver's worse than yours. All right, I live on booze. So booze powers me.
Where's mine, Tom?
And then, so I'll say this. So Andrew, for those that don't know who you are, that have been living under a rock, can you please tell the people who Andrew Tate is?
Okay, well, I've lived an eclectic life, right? So I've lived many different lives. I like to think the reason I'm so wise is because I've lived 1,000 human years. So I've done a lot of different things. I've been broke. I've been rich. I was a professional athlete. I was a webcam pimp. I've done it all. So I'll give you the very, very short version of my life story. My father was the greatest black chess player in history. He was a master of the game. So when I was growing up from a very young age, from the age of around 3, I was training to become a chess grandmaster. I was on track to be a chess grandmaster by the age of around 12. When I was 5, I became a state chess champion for Indiana in the under 16s. I was the youngest to ever win it. I remember I was 5 years old. When you're 5 and you're playing a 16-year-old, that's scary, right? I'm sitting my ass at 5, and there's some big 16-year-old there. And I remember when I beat him, he cried. So I became state chess champion at age 5, and I was trained to become a chess grandmaster. So that was that. And then we were growing up. I was in sleepy little Indiana. My mother and father split up. My mother was English, so we all went back to England. I was around 11. And in England, there's no chess, not like in America, right? I also lost my coach because my dad stayed here.
I'm about to brush my teeth, man.
And then I decided I wanted to replace chess with something. And to me, the closest possible fit I could find was fighting. People say, how can you go from chess, which is geeky, to getting in the cage and smashing someone's face in? But to me, they're exactly the same thing. Like in most sports, there's a degree of luck. Like in poker, I don't care how good, listen, all you poker players, I play poker, I don't care how good you are. Every single hand you get is trash. You're going to lose. And if you keep getting pocket aces, you're going to win, right? So there's a degree of luck. When you play a team sport, your team can have a good day or a bad day, and that will affect how the the outcome of the game regardless of how you performed, right? So I want something just like chess, where there's no luck, it's just me, one-on-one, brutal, war, trying to hurt someone. I wanted to make someone else cry like that 16-year-old bitch cried. So I thought, I might as well learn to start punching people in the face. So I started training. Kickboxing is what I started doing. I had 5 cage fights, and then I was offered a contract for the largest kickboxing organization in Holland, and they were the kings of kickboxing at the time, and they paid more than MMA. So I signed up to kickboxing. I gave up MMA, and I became 4-time kickboxing world champion. Best in the world for a long time, 87 fights, been everywhere, done everything, and then fighting was doing well, but the problem was with kickboxing, it's not boxing, right? So even though I was the world champion, I mean, I had money, but I didn't have money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting, let's say, $100,000 a fight, but I was fighting twice a year, $200,000 a year, pay your taxes and stuff. You're not balling.
Yeah.
You're not
And then you got to pay out your promoter.
You got to pay your promoter 20%, and there's no, and the lifestyle's boring, right? So all you do is train. I mean, I was still smashing through women, of course, because I always found that I was pretty good at that, and it was relatively cheap. But I woke up one day and thought, I give this 6 hours of energy a day. 6 hours of my life a day is dedicated to kicking the shit out of people. I'm 4-time world champion. Is becoming 5-time world champion going to really improve my life? Probably not. Right. So I'm going to take all that energy and dedicate it towards getting rich. And through a crazy series of events, I ended up owning a webcam studio. Hey. I ended up owning a webcam studio and became a multi-millionaire. And here I am now. I'm officially an ultra-high net worth individual in excess of 30 million. So I gave up fighting to get rich. And now I'm rich, and I'm on the Fresh and Fit podcast. And that's the story. That's the story, man. That's how it went.
Here you go. This is the number 1 dating podcast in the world.
Yep, and definitely the number 1 podcast in Miami, and we're going to take over soon to become the number 1 podcast in the world.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Andrew, so they got to know you a little bit as far as, you know, where you're from and everything, because a lot of people think that you're not American.
Yeah, I'm American. You were born here. I was born here. I've got an American passport. I'm American. And I live right now. I currently live in Romania, and everyone goes, why Romania? Are you Romanian, or is your family Romanian?
Let's talk about that real quick. I know they're going to ask, Andrew, what's Romania? Well, can you what's safe for YouTube, I guess?
Yeah. I was in England. I got tired of England. I had to decide to move somewhere, and I'd fought in Romania a few times. And I decided to go to... In fact, I'll tell you this whole story. All right, let me tell you the whole story. Let me tell out in public why I left England. Let's go down memory lane. Let's go down. Let me give out all my world secrets. Because I'm on my biggest podcast yet, so I might as well tell all my secrets, right?
There you go.
So... This is a long story, right? So I had the webcam business. So a lot of people were very curious about how the webcam business works. So basically, I was sitting there after I retired from fighting, and I thought, I need to get rich today. So I'm Googling up, and I'm researching, like, what is money? How does the central bank... Because I thought, if I want money, the first thing I need to do is understand what money is. Right. Most people don't know what money is. Facts. Right? How does money work? How does a bank work? Where does money come from? So I started just going down the rabbit hole. Right. And the more I learned about money, the more mad I got, because I realized it's trash. And fiat ain't real, and they just print it from the sky. So I'm like, not only is it garbage, I don't have any. I don't have any garbage. What? So I was furious, right? So I'm watching this YouTube video, and they're talking about assets, liabilities, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there trying to find a way to get rich, and I decided to write down all my assets on a piece of paper. I had like a Range Rover, I had an apartment under mortgage, I had like 10 grand in the bank, that's it. So I'm writing down my assets. I knew I was big and strong, but I was already fighting. And then when I was writing down assets, I realized with my fight career, because I was traveling the world, all I do is, because I always win, because I'm sexy, when you win, it's almost like a given, right? The ring girl's yours. When you win, you smash. Like, they ain't fucking a loser. But if you win, so I had all these girlfriends. I had girlfriends in France, Slovakia, Germany, all these hot chicks. And they thought I was the big millionaire world champion, right? They thought I was living in London with a Ferrari, and I'm still texting them, and they thought I was living the big life.
Damn.
So I was like, well, I could open a strip club, but that takes money. You know, I need overheads, I need money. How can I use these women to make me money? I don't want to put them on the track because they're my women. I don't want other people touching my chicks. And by coincidence, I'm just Googling things up, and I discovered this webcam website. And I'd never heard of webcam before. This is a long time ago as well. It wasn't as big as it is now. Now everyone knows about OnlyFans, all this shit. Like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever this was, it wasn't nearly as big. And I found this little webcam thing, and I was like, this might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it was 5 of them, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me. None of them knew about each other. Bro, Tristan will tell you the story. He'll tell you. All 5 flew in, picked them all up. They're all sitting there. I sat them around the same table. Bro, I need to get paid. Right? I'm broke now. I'm retired from fighting. So I put them all around the same table.
All right.
And I was like, look.
So let's
We're
go
gonna start
ahead